Hey, I'm popping back on here to share a little nugget with you guys. Okay, so first though, I've got to share this video with my group, Confident Moms Raising Confident Daughters. I'm going to do that really quick. Here we go. Um, let's see, share in a group. Thanks for being patient. I like to give my group a little love. Okay, so, somebody's calling. Okay, so last week or a couple days ago, I posted something on my personal page about something that I have stopped saying to my kids recently. You're welcome to go to my personal page. It's Betsy Baird Smith and check out what I wrote about. I've been really mindful and aware recently of not telling my kids to have fun every time they leave the house or I drop them off at school or practice, or saying have fun, when they're going to school or they're going into a practice that's going to be probably kind of challenging for them. The reason I stopped doing that, or I'm just trying to be more mindful of it, is because I feel like we're living in a culture right now that's like, oh, you should be happy. And all the things they're seeing on social media and all the things they're seeing out of the people that they follow is very like, everything's great. You should be happy. And so if they're not feeling happy, if they're not feeling like they're having fun, right? Because that's what they're seeing all over social media is happy, smiles, having fun. You're hot, you're so fun, you're so pretty, all of that. If they're not experiencing that, then I feel like maybe they might internalize that something's wrong with them. So I think about when I leave the house for the day to go to work or work with clients or sit down and put out content for my business, I'm energized and I'm motivated, but it's not necessarily fun, right? So I want to talk today about something else that we say to our young girls, specifically when it comes to making friends. We tell them, just be yourself, right? Just be who you are and friends will come. People will find you. And while there is such truth to that, I think telling a middle school girl or a young high school girl or even a 9, 10, 11-year-old girl, just be yourself, they don't really know, like, what does that mean, right? They're just naturally insecure anyway. Their tendency is to just sort of blend in and not really stand out. So when we tell our young girls just to be themselves, while I think that that's a great idea, I think it's also very confusing for them because they're like, I don't know who that is, or maybe being myself isn't enough, right? Or I am being myself, but every day it feels like that's a different person, and every day I'm kind of getting a different message about who I am or who I should be. So I want to offer that instead of saying just be yourself, really ask your daughter, what do you value? So personal values, I've got my notes here, are really reflections of our needs, our desires, and what we care most about in life. Okay? It tells a lot about like who we are. Now, I think sometimes we get this mixed up with like our morals, right? Which is not really the same thing. Our values are really, they're like our internal compass, okay? And it really, when we're in touch with what we value, then that means we're really in touch with what feels right to us. So, and that helps with our self-confidence, right? Knowing our values is much better to get in touch with than just saying, just be yourself. Being yourself is so vague. And again, with the tendency to want to blend in or to compare ourselves, it's not very helpful. As helpful as, what do you value? What's important to you? Okay, so it's kind of different depending on what age girl you're talking to. Middle schoolers and ninth and 10th graders will know what their values are, but little ones probably won't. So one way that you could do is say, what is your favorite animal and why? What's your favorite activity and why? Who do you admire and why? Right? What's your favorite item in your room? Okay, so like if they say a stuffed animal or a blanket or a picture of somebody, then you know that it's what they value is what they're trying to tell you is that security, right? Or if they value their phone, they value connection. And if they value like being outdoors, being on a team, if they value movement and volunteering and animals and taking care of pets, and maybe they value being an older sibling or a younger sibling. Those things tell you more about who you are than us just saying just be yourself. Okay, so then once you have that knowledge, right, then you know how to show up in your world by being that, by sharing what you know about the things that you value, by taking part in activities that really honor what you value. You would be so surprised at the number of young women that I work with who have a set of values, and yet the activities that they're participating in don't really match up with those values because maybe they're being influenced by their parents to do something, play a sport, do an extracurricular that really they're not like feeling it. So it's just really good to get in touch with that and then encourage your daughter from that place to take that out into the world and make friends and make connections. And circling back to the not telling my kids to have fun, I share these things with you because they're just sort of aha moments that I'm having along the way, and I think it's helpful. Certainly, if you're telling your kid to have fun and just be herself, there is no harm in that whatsoever. I just think that sometimes we can think of different ways to say the same thing that might be a little more relatable where they are in their development. And also to remind these young women and men that, listen, life is hard. It is 50% hard and 50% less hard. Everything is not supposed to be fun and happy and great and everybody together for a selfie and filtered and right. It's like, that's not life. And so I think the more that we can kind of put in little reminders like, hey, this really isn't supposed to be fun, but can you walk into that school? Can you walk onto that field? Can you participate in your extracurricular activities and bring a lot of you to that place? Because that's what that place needs, right? We don't need all the same person. We need a lot of different people and your uniqueness. And what do you have to bring to that situation that can make it even better, right? Not just fun, but like interesting, challenging, insightful, inspirational, or you just show up and do your part, right? That's more than enough. Okay, so yeah, have fun and be yourself. Great messages, just maybe think about tweaking it a little bit. And listen, this is social media, which means I'd love to get social with you. So when I post these videos or I write a post, I love to hear back from you. I love to hear your ideas, your suggestions, your advice, what's worked for you, what you're struggling with, right? This is a community and it takes a village. We're all in it together. I like to hear from you guys. You're going to be hearing more from me because in June and July, I'm putting together a series of 4 workshops specifically for rising 7th and 8th grade girls. This is like my baby right now. I'm elbow deep in it. So excited. Hi, Katie. I love you. You're just the best. I was talking about you the other day to someone who's hired you who asked if I was related to you. Um, that's my photographer, by the way, people. So what was I saying? Oh, so I'm doing these workshops and I'm super excited. I'm just fired up. If you have a rising 7th or 8th grade girl and you're local to Louisville, that means in the city or surrounding areas, please, please, please let me know you're interested in hearing more. I have taken literally everything I know, which is a lot, and I've really put it together in such a way that is energizing, engaging, fun. Like things are going to be happening in their brains and they're not even going to know it. Fun, that type thing. And so I really would love for your daughter to be there. I have done this thing where when I'm doing my events, I kind of close my eyes and I sort of visualize the room and I feel the energy of the room and I see these young faces and I see the faces of the girls that I bring in, the mentors, and I can kind of get the sights and the sounds and the smells of it. I know it sounds crazy, but it's what makes these things happen. And your daughter's face is among those faces that I see. And I'm already in gratitude for having met her, and my life is up leveled for having her in it. And I know that her life will be up leveled from having a little bit of me and a lot of friends. And I think one of the objections that I might get is, hey, this is great, but we've got a full calendar this summer, or we're going to be traveling, or I just don't know if this sounds great to me, but I just don't know if she'll go for it. And what I really want to encourage you, what I really want to say to all you moms and dads out there is, I get it. I have 2 teens myself. I know that the schedules get crazy. I know that money is a consideration. But this is your daughter's mental health. And not only is it her mental health, but it's at the perfect time. There's like a sweet spot in her brain development and in her ability to learn how to manage her emotions and do thought work and set up boundaries and handle friendship conflict and deal with boys and little love interests and deal with academic pressure and just the pressure. Like this is rising 7th to 8th grade in her development. This is where it's at, y'all. And they have the capability to learn so much. But what sticks in their brains is not necessarily what they learn. It's what they practice. So I want her with me this summer. If you're interested in hearing more, I have the details. I'm kind of putting those out before I put it out on social media because I'm only going to have 20 spots. And your daughter needs to be in there with me. Okay, hope that helped. And I put out a workbook in my Confident Moms Raising Confident Daughters private Facebook group. If you're not in there, please ask to join that private community. I love it. I go in there and I do a little bit of extra stuff. I put out a little workbook from yesterday's video about kind of recapping the school year before the school year ends and how important that is and how it really can be a catalyst for some great conversations. Works with boys too. So I encourage you to get in there and ask to join so you can get your hands on that workbook. I might even do a little workbook with this video about values and how they can tap into those. So join that group, ask to join it. I'll get in there. It usually takes me a few hours to accept you. Come on over. Get on my subscriber list. I'm also going to put this out on my subscriber. I send an email out once a week. I've been better about it. Sometimes I forget. And I've got a great group of subscribers there who really get a lot out of what I send each week. So you'll want to find me there as well. And on that, you can go to CoachBetsy.com. And on the homepage, you'll see a pink button that says Get Help. It's basically my little series of information that kind of helps you deal with drama or helps you help your daughter deal with drama. So I encourage you to hop on there. What else? Listen, comment below or message me. I love to talk about this stuff. I was on the phone with like 3 different women yesterday who I'm sure got off the phone and were like, holy wow, that woman, she gets going. And it's just like, I guess that's what happens when you're tapped into your values and your passion. Okay, hope you guys have a great rest of the day. I might pop in here tomorrow with another little nugget. You never know. Hope you're watching these, get something out of them, and carry on. Be confident.